Professor Schippers, may I ask you some questions?
Yes, of course. What do you want to know, Rico?
It's November 12th, 2024. Welcome to Follow the Science, where I'm talking to my friend, colleague, professor of behavioral science and performance management abroad on an expedition, Michaéla Schippers. Welcome to your own podcast.
Thank you.
You're in Stanford, and we just recorded something about why you're there, how your work is going there with, among others, Johnny Ioannidis. But since you're there, I want to learn about Halloween, which you did with your son. But also, you've been there through the American elections, and I know you. I mean, you're always observing. You're checking out what's happening here.
Yes.
So this conversation is going to be about the American elections, and to kick that off, from my perspective, I didn't know who was going to win, but I feared the aftermath, and I was led by fear in retrospect, because nothing really much has happened as far as I can tell. So, but Trump won big. I did not see that coming, and not too many people in the Netherlands saw it coming. He won every swing state. Now, California, where you are, is not a swing state. You're in Stanford. That's a blue state. So what's your observation of the United States presidential elections of 2024, Michaéla?
Well, the first thing that came to mind for me, because I try to stay out of all the, emotional part of this, there's two things that I noted. One is actually that there are extreme standpoints, just like during the COVID situation. It's like either he is going to let the world to the end or something, and the other extreme is he's a savior and he will set everything right in the world. And of course, both standpoints are incorrect. But these are the very strong emotions that we tend to see. And especially the one that Trump is going to wreck everything in the world is strongly advocated by the mainstream media. And the other standpoint more by the alternative media and on social media and all the things. So I thought it was really interesting. Of course, he's neither the homecoming of Jesus or the next Christ that's going to save us, and he is not going to wreck the world. But still,
well, hang on, ho. That's your opinion, I suppose.
I hope so. I hope it's not going to do either.
I hope so too.
There's a little chance of that.
But is that substantiated by what you see with the Americans around you there?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know, emotions. Not what I see on the street, actually, because the extremes we tend to see in the media. But if I talk to people, so the first talk I had here was before the elections, was with a black person, really nice person. I don't even know if I can say that, but at least that's the color of his skin. He helped me very nicely with to make sure that. Oh, sorry, we are being interrupted. So I talked to him, and he helped me with getting train tickets, because I didn't know how to buy train tickets. Of course, if you're here for the first time and never used the train before, and so that was really nice. And we talked about the elections a little bit, and he said, yeah, and some people want, a female to become the first female president. Some people want a black person in office, and some people want. And I said, yeah, but it might be more important what kind of decision the person who is going to be in office takes. That's the most important thing. And if he is pro for the people and not for himself, or with all kinds of conflicts of interest. And he said, yeah, you're right. And then I said, he said to me, what race are you? And I have no idea what race I am. It's a bit strange question. And then together with him, I said, I'm from the human race. And he said, you're from the human race. And I said, yes, correct. That's what I think so too. We are all humans, and we are one. And I even thought that this is such an issue now that I rewrote the Declaration of Independence. So I wrote the Great Citizens Declaration. And he said, "Oh, great, can I read it?" And I said, "Sure, here it is." And without reading it, he signed it. It was kind of interesting. I said, "Shouldn't you read it before?" Because in the Netherlands, if people, I ask them to sign the Great Citizens Declaration, they say, "Yeah, there's one sentence that I didn't like, so I didn't sign it." I'm like, "Yeah, of course."
The Dutch
That's
give you
my
a hard time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so this has happened to two people actually. Also another person who had been who visited John. I opened the door for her because you cannot just enter, so you have to have a pass. I don't have a pass either, but I'm always there on appointment, and she was also, but she was a bit early, so and I was in the lobby with Mike, so I opened the door for her, and we talked a little bit, and she also signed it without even reading it. That was kind of interesting.
So I get that the mainstream media is biased, and I feel that that Americans, people from the United States,
Mm-hmm.
have lost their faith in their mainstream media also, and
Mm-hmm.
that might even be in my perspective. So correct me or whatever. This is your podcast, but the way I see it, that's a big win from these elections. If people start to be critical to their own press, to their own media, well, that's a big win. But how there must have been a preference. So the polls said it's a 50-50 split, or Harris is in the lead, or Trump's in the lead. But in the end of the day, Trump won big time. That wasn't all faulty mainstream media that set us on the wrong foot. Why did the United States electorate change their opinion, or what? Why did they all
I
go
think
for Trump all of a sudden?
this is basically, and it's because it's been pushed in such an extreme way that you should choose Harris. And even women on a sex strike, we're not going to have sex anymore if you're going to choose Trump. And so this was pushed in such a way that this has caused, in my view, in psychological view, a boomerang effect.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there's a blue bracelet that we need to wear because I want to make sure that nobody ever thinks that I am one of the apparently majority of white women who voted for
And so
Donald
this
Trump.
was pushed in such a way that this has caused, in my view, in psychological view, a boomerang effect, which is basically that people tend to go for the opposite of what they're pushed into. And so let me read what in social psychology a boomerang effect is. It's also known as a reactance effect, refers to the unintended consequences of an attempt to persuade, resulting in the adoption of an opposing position instead. So what happened is people thought, and this has the idea is that has to do with freedom. So your freedom is being restricted. So this is actually a lot of psychological manipulation, and people don't really like to have that their freedoms are being taken away. The freedom to think for themselves, the freedom to make their own decisions. So, and this was, I think, what's happening here.
How was the aftermath? I wish I were there. I wish I were there, and I'd be sitting in a coffee shop and walking the streets and talking to people at the supermarket all day, just
Yes.
to get a taste of the opinion of the people. So
Yes,
was it like?
I can imagine. And that was, of course, not the goal of my visit. So I'm working here.
No, but
And
did you at all? But we just did a talk, and you've been working real hard on science and papers and stuff. So I was hoping,
yes.
oh no, you have to talk to the people in the supermarket also. So did
I
you?
did actually, because we had a Halloween evening,
Yeah.
and so we met. We were into one of the neighborhoods where this was really celebrated in a big way, and it was trick or treat. But the gardens they're like with full of all kinds of sometimes graves and very scary figures and skeletons and somebody dressing up as a very scary clown or something. But really they made a lot of effort, like what we do with Christmas in some of the areas in the Netherlands. Like the whole garden is then, but then people come into the garden, they have music there and smoke sometimes, and so I can send some pictures. It's really nice. And so we went into this neighborhood and we met a boy, a Latino boy, and he, out of the blue, said to Mike, "Can we be friends?" After talking like 3 minutes or something. And Mike said, "Sure." And so I walked along with this family all night, and then I asked her, not before, I didn't talk at that moment, but afterwards we went to the McDonald's together with the family.
When in America?
And in America, of course. And Mike was very happy because the McDonald's is not close by, so we hadn't been to the McDonald's because I can't walk there. And she said, "Yeah, Trump is in office and he's going to send all the Latinos out." And I'm like, "How do you know?" And we are all going to send away, and I'm a bit afraid, and blah, blah, blah. So it's fear again. And I said, "How do you know?" She said, "Yeah, they say that." And I said, "Who's they?" "Yeah, I read it everywhere. But did you hear it from Trump himself?" "No, I didn't." I said, "Well, maybe it's not that bad. And maybe it's okay because you contribute to society, right? You work, and so I don't see why you should be." And we also hear that if one person in a family is offending, then the whole family will be sent back to Mexico. So she was really afraid a little bit. And I said, "Well, today is today and tomorrow is tomorrow. And maybe, it's not that bad. Try to listen to what he is saying at least." Because I felt a little bit like it was in a situation with Pim Fortuyn in the Netherlands, that a lot has been said about him and people start to believe what is being said about him instead of really listening to what he's actually saying. And more importantly, what he's actually doing, because there's not always the same thing. People can say the one thing and do the other. And he's not even in office yet.
No, but he's doing stuff. I mean, that's
I know.
assigned. Yeah, are you following this? So there's people being assigned to key roles in his administration currently.
Yes, Robert F. Kennedy, and I'm not really explicitly following it, but it's impossible not to to see what he's doing already. And I personally, I'm a little bit afraid that something will happen because I think there are already 2 assassination attempts on his life. So that is a thing that Pim Fortuyn was also killed before he could even be elected, but I don't know.
Yeah. So we're doing this in English because we strive for Follow the Science to be an international news outlet. But no one outside of the Netherlands knows Pim Fortuyn, and everybody under 20 doesn't know him either. But there was
It was a politician in the Netherlands who was going
to win bigly.
Yeah, sorry?
To win big. That was what.
He was going to win big, and he did win big actually, and after his death. But because it turned out that you could choose him, so he was assassinated basically. And I saw a little bit of how do you say? The things around it are similar, like being demonized, being attacked. So I saw similarities between the 2 cases, although this is much bigger.
The way I understand you is being in the United States, in California, you've sensed the atmosphere, and it reminds you of the atmosphere in the Netherlands around the time that Pim Fortuyn was assassinated shortly before our elections. That's what you're saying.
Right.
Are they on the mend now? It's only been a week, but what's the aftermath of the elections?
It's for me, it's hard to assess. I see people getting crazy and having emotional breakdowns, but I don't see that personally. Like life is the same. Yeah, I wish I could. But I was visiting a professor, Gregory Walton, and they just said, "Yeah, Trump won." It was like they didn't like it, but I avoided to go into her conversation because that's not. It might not be a very easy conversation, and I didn't want to bring it up too much during a dinner.
It might not have been I'm putting words in your mouth. See what happens. It might not have been appropriate as a topic, also.
Maybe not appropriate, but the thing is, it's like when the FVD, the Forum for Democracy in the Netherlands won, then within the university, that was not a topic. Yeah, I can start discussing it, but come on, they are so much extreme different from my opinion. Not that I, agree with everything they do, but I'm much more nuanced, I think, than
you're comparing it. So Forum for Democracy is portrayed. We can agree on that, regardless on what their actual content is, but they're portrayed as extreme right fringe party. But they did win bigly, a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So
then in the university, there's a kind of
you don't talk
how do you
about it.
say that they feel
Taboo.
very sad about it, and
Oh.
there's this laid down atmosphere about it, like he'd won, and we can't really do anything about it, but it's really bad. That's what I sense, but I'm not really talking about this because during the talks that I gave or during the days that I was at the university, the topic didn't even come up.
And that's what you're sensing now also about Trump.
Yeah, I don't. Yes, if you start talking about it, people will open up.
Or maybe
probably.
it's not such a big deal. So we have a new president. Who cares? Is it that?
I think it is. I think it is like under the surface, there's a lot of emotions, but it's just an easy topic for a lot of people.
Okay, so here's your assignment. Go pry a little more. I want to know what's going on beneath.
I know. I'm not sure. I'm not a journalist, right? Like you
No,
are.
I wish I were there. So about Halloween. So what I see on television is the United States. They really go out of their way to really feel that and celebrate that. So did you dress up? I mean,
I had earrings. I bought earrings. Mike bought a really big suit. It's like an inflatable suit, and it looked like he was abducted by a skeleton. Because
you
it's
go.
really nice because it's a double suit. It has legs in the back where he walks in and legs in the front where his legs are not. But it just looks like it's taking him away. And
Oh yeah.
he was walking in it all night and he got so much candy. We can't even bring it home. It's so much. There was one guy who said, "This is a great suit that you have here. Go, go, go." And
Do you? I mean, it's very biased, obviously, from where you are and the people around you. But did you feel safe? Have you felt unsafe anywhere? What's the streets?
no, not. I haven't felt unsafe. It's dark pretty early, and we mostly travel by train and by bus. But it was interesting the other day at the station during daytime when we were going to Stanford. We were at the station and then we saw an arrest, a drug-related arrest, I think. And so we were, and the officer was pointing at Mike all the time, probably because he wanted to show him, hey, you can't just do that in front of children. But we hadn't even noticed. But it was like just off the station, and there was a clock tower, and we were standing behind the clock tower, and Mike was looking at it, and I said, let's stay a little bit behind the clock tower, because if something happens, if they start shooting or something, I don't want to. He wanted to see the whole arrest. It was with a K9 unit and everything. But it was pretty, strange, because you don't often see that in the Netherlands, like an arrest.
Has the
happening on
Netherlands
the
made
street.
the news over there already? The last couple of days here?
Sorry, have the?
Has the Netherlands made the news to where you are?
I'm not sure actually. I haven't followed the American news. I know it has made the news in a lot of countries, which was, I don't know, interesting. But I haven't really been buying newspapers or we have a television here. I haven't even once had it on.
Oh, good for you. Oh, I've been to the United States a couple of times, and whenever I turned on the television, it's commercials. So that's when I turn it off again.
Well, it is about Trump a lot because I saw it at a Chinese restaurant when I was waiting like for 5 minutes, and then I saw about Trump, Harris. Was a bit, I don't know,
Yeah, it's
too
been
much.
what I wanted to say is it's been a couple of years back when I was last in the United States. I was in Boston for work. EMC, a
Nice.
storage vendor, is headquartered there, and we visited that. And then we also went to a game. So I don't do soccer in the Netherlands. It's not my thing. But I've been to stadiums. But being there in that baseball arena, I felt safe, and I saw families and small kids getting their hamburgers under the
Yes,
field, under
yes.
the.
Stadiums are really safe. Yes, I've lived in Boston for 4 months.
Oh, I didn't know.
Cambridge, when I visited Harvard.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, I wanted to compare that to the Netherlands, where the big uproar is some football supporters from Israel created mayhem and were harassed by people from Amsterdam. So
Yes.
that's the all
Yeah,
the
that wouldn't happen here, I think. No, not in that sense. It would happen in a different setting, maybe, but not in a sports setting. At
also
least
not.
I've been to the stadium too. It's beautiful. Like children, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
really a
what you
family
want.
out.
When you see that, is you go, oh, I want that for us as well.
Yes, I agree. That would be awesome.
And between the Trump and the Harris supporters, are they going to be like that also? You think?
I have no idea. Sorry, I'm
Too
I'm
early.
I'm really bad. I'm really a bad journalist. I just can I
People,
just can tell
peop
some psychological phenomena that I see happening.
yeah, maybe you nailed it there with analyzing why Democrats didn't all vote out for Harris. She over, if I paraphrase and summarize what you just said, they overplayed their campaign and pushed people away rather than convince them.
Yes,
Maybe it
yes.
is
Yeah,
as
it's
simple as that.
forcing them. So taking away people's freedom is something they don't like, and they will take it back in a way. And so they should have done it a little bit more subtle. But then
Okay.
again, I wonder how much you should manipulate people. They should be able to make up their own minds and their own. And then again, we can discuss if the whole system works at all, like in the Netherlands, but worldwide. Why don't people have more a say in the policy decisions that are being made? Why do we give so much power to people and then then we have to wait if they will abuse that power or not? That is basically the idea of the Great Citizens Movement to give back the power to people and make sure that there is more direct democracy.
Good to talk to you. I'm looking forward to meeting you again in person in a couple of weeks
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
Netherlands. Have fun while you're there, yeah? Did you
Yes,
see
will do.
anything of Los Angeles or San Francisco or?
Yeah, we went to San Francisco and we went to the Golden Gate Bridge. We went to see Chinatown, and that's about it basically because Mike got ill for a
Oh,
week, and we wanted to go somewhere else, like to the beach or some other place. And now he wants to go to a place that has a ninja. What was it, Mike? The ninja, a ninja battle thing that they have here. Ninja Republic. That's where
sounds
he's
great.
going.
Have fun doing it.
Thank you.
See you next time.